Up for summer. Here to give us some advice on how to do it is CrossFit champion Gloria Nomvuyiseko Noganta. She's a 45-year-old mom and grandma. Good morning.
Good morning.
You look amazing.
Thank you.
When did this journey begin? How did it begin for you?
Okay. Some time ago, I think it was around 15 years ago, when I've had all my children, and I was eating. And after eating, I realized that my belt couldn't fit, right. And it was a size 40 belt. And I had to rethink about my life. But at the same time, at that point in time, I was actually getting to a point of having understood that I am just living. I was not conscious about anything. I was not conscious about my choices and what I was doing. And that was leading me downward. And you can see I'm not really tall, so you could actually roll me. That's how big I was at the time. And so started a rethink of my life. And because I was in corporate, luckily for me, I would say, I started thinking about how can I live strategically? Right. How can I pace my life in such a way that I am able to know where will I be, what are my choices, where are my choices leading me, and what is my goal and what I want to do. And so first it was about losing weight. That's where it started from. And secondly, I looked and I said to myself, people that were 45 were on diabetes, they had diabetics, they had all these other chronic diseases. And I wanted to know, how do I turn 45 and not have a chronic disease if I can help it, right? Thirdly, I did know that at some point in time I'll be a grandmother, and therefore I wanted to be able to pick up my grandchildren and be able to play with them. Yeah. So here I am. That's where it started.
And how do you maintain that? Are you eating are you sticking to a strict diet in terms of food as well as the exercise? And what does your exercise regime actually entail?
On food, actually, I started very slow. I had to be patient with myself, and that's the most important thing that I have realized that makes a lot of people not to be able to get to where they want to go to, is that you start from you were eating everything to a point where you're now suddenly having to change a lot around yourself. So I needed to understand me, because your body responds to what you give to it, and it will tell you when you are stressing it and when you are at harmony with it. So I started removing just the stuff that was white, so from white bread to brown bread, from white rice to brown rice, and stuff like that. Okay, I'm a Xhosa, so we eat umngqusho, so we don't do pap.
Umngqusho is still on the diet.
Never been, yes. Okay. So umngqusho does come in my diet, more especially when I'm home in December time. My sister would cook umngqusho. Right. She makes a mean umngqusho, so I still have that. But right through the time, so I started losing just the whites, and then from there I started losing a number of things to a point that where now carbs are actually, my carbs come from vegetables, not from what typically would be carbs. And I can tell you one thing, I didn't know what was the difference between carbs and protein when I started. So my fitness regime is around, I train for 6 days a week. 6 days a week? 6 days a week, yes. And the key issue for me has been to add a number of things that I couldn't do. Okay. When I started off, I could lift, my squat was 15 kg, and we are now almost 12 months later, and 2 weeks ago, I did 90 kgs.
Oh, we're mad.
So it is incremental. And you have to be patient with yourself. Yeah. Have to be patient with your body. Understand what you can handle and what you can't handle. Because what keeps people out is the fact that, or what demotivates people is that you go out too fast, and then by the time you wake up tomorrow, you can't even walk, then you don't go back again.
Consistency?
Consistency is key on anything that you do in life. And the nice thing about me and my training is that it has taught me a lot about myself. It has taught me a lot about how do I apply the learnings that I get from here to my general life. So to my career life, to my family life, how do I become a grandmother? My granddaughter, who's 6, who does gymnastics, is actually teaching me how to stand on my hands now.
Wow. Lovely. Your message perhaps to someone who's your age or a little bit older, or who's discouraged and saying, "Aye, man, the time has passed for that. I can't do that."
My message would be, you can start anything at any given point in time. It's like going to a university. You can now start a degree if you wanted to get a degree and you couldn't achieve it. So health is critically important. Living a quality life is critically important, because when you live a quality life, you are able to have quality relationships. If you understand yourself, you are able to be able to understand others. And in fact, if you work on yourself more, you are able then to give people more, serve people more. So if you need to decide about your life. Do you want to be sitting in a sofa every time and having tablets and eating anything? My message is, start thinking and being conscious about the fact that when you pick up that piece of chocolate, what does it do to your health? What if you pick up a piece of a cucumber and that's what you ate instead of a chocolate? Right. There's so much that we can do. Critically also is that the older people, in my view, they were meant to give lessons to people that come after us. So today, almost my whole family went to run 10 kilometers and whatever.
Lovely.
When I started competing last year, everybody at home was like, what? So in May this year, when I won one of the CrossFit, my granddaughter, the 6-year-old, stood up and said, quiet, everybody. Listen, this is what I'm going to do. When I'm older, I'm going to be a CrossFitter and I'm going to be better, more than grandmother.
Wow.
That for me is what makes me to go on. That for me is realizing that she now is very sporty. She does a lot of sports. She does swimming and everything, because she looks up to grandmother and she says, if grandmother does this, I can certainly do it. So my whole family now has started eating better, has started training, has started getting to say, let's understand our choices. So you may not do it for yourself, but you may be doing it for the people that come after you.
100%.
Your community, your people, your family, and yourself.
Health is wealth. What an incredible gift you've given to your family. And thanks for sharing some of it with us. I am so motivated. So after this, we know where we're going. And Ngozi Mama, thank you so much for your time this morning. I can't even speak. That was CrossFit champion Gloria Nomvuyiseko Noganta.